Salute discipoli. I'm going to try not to take too long on this one. Here is our first passage on page 13. Okay, so when I name things, I usually do 55, the chapter, the passage letter, and your book splits up the passages sometimes into different parts. So this is the first part, so I have a lowercase Roman numeral. You'll see that throughout the year. And then the page 13 tells you if you couldn't figure out my labeling, you can figure out the page. So I've put down here first the Latin from page 13. And I apologize if there are any typos. I was typing fast. And then down here I've got and what we've talked about so far. All right, we've got two ablative absolutes to start us out here, and use the commas to your advantage. The first bit before the comma is one ablative absolute, and I just gave you a hint of which translation of the ablative absolute might work well here. During is what I like the best. During the consulship of Marcus Tullius Cicero, we call him Cicero, and Gaius Antonius, we call him Antony, in the 691st year since the founding of the city. Now, when you translate, feel free to keep it in the AUC, like I have, year 691, or you can put it into our years, which I gave you notes for the other day. So either one is fine with me. And then it just goes on to list his name. Oh, I said there were two ablative absolutes. Here's the second one. The date. In the year, it's kind of like a continuation of the first ablative absolute, but they're all ablative, and that's why you can kind of add your preposition however you like. And then in between the commas, they just give you another name. He's our nominative here, so I put him down, and then we can start after that comma. I give you notes about the names, so notice the M is Marcus, the C is Gaius. I was going to tell you something about their English names, but I cannot remember what it is. I'll come back to it, I'm certain. So the next part here is a descriptor of our nominative. It's not telling us what he's doing yet. It's just telling us more about him here. So we are saying he's aware. He's a man of most noble family, of a most noble family or clan. However you want to do that is fine. But the said here gives sort of a caveat to the first statement. He is of the most noble family, but he is also of the most corrupt, pravissimi. He is of the most corrupt character. That is not what you want to hear from your peers. And the picture on page 13 can kind of show what we would expect Catiline to look like. He is isolated in the picture and sort of drooping there in the foreground of that painting. But anyway, just a descriptor. We aren't saying what Lucius Sergius Catilina has done yet, or is doing. So then they go on to be more specific in this next part. Okay, I'm going to stop right there for the moment. So let's see. Let me find a verb, my verb conjuravit. Use the word in English that looks like this. It's a way to help you through a translation sometimes. It might not make the most sense in English, but to understand what's going on, it might. So he has he has conjured a plot towards the destruction of the country, ad delendam patriam, towards the destruction of the country. There are so many different ways to say this. Don't be afraid to move it around and just say, he plotted to destroy the country. That's fine. That's exactly what it's saying. With certain men, or certain men, we know that it's masculine, and because of the stuff that comes next. Um, so certain men of of no, actually, sorry, not of. Let's say this quidem, it can be kind of annoying. It means indeed. So certain men distinguished clares, indeed, but reckless men. All right, and I know quibustam is masculine because of my vires down here. So kind of keep an eye on what's coming, but know that you should sort of build that meaning from left to right um, as you read through a Latin sentence. So um, he conjured up a plot towards the destruction of the country with certain men, indeed distinguished, but reckless men. Okay, now you can put men wherever you want. I put it in there twice, so before or after, don't do the twice thing. I was just putting it in there for you to hear. This next one is actually a nice little sentence. We've got a perfect passive verb here with the two-word verbs that the threes are working on right now. So he has been expelled. Again, use the word that's closest to the Latin. It will help you speed through it without laboring over something you actually know. So he has been expelled from the city. Locations like this do not actually require prepositions, so don't be afraid of that. Don't be afraid to put the from. He's been expelled from the city by Cicerone, by Cicero, all right, by the one consul that we had talked about up here. So then we go over here, Sokii Eos, we have his associates. And notice Soki is in the middle of the word associates. And that's where we get that word. So his associates, okay, Lucia, we have again a two-word verb. You see it? Strangulati sunt. But I hate to tell you that we actually have two. Here's the first fourth principle part. They are recycling sunt. So imagine that this says, deprehensi sunt in carcere strangulati sunt. They just didn't want to say the sunt again. So his associates have been caught. So remember that sunt is actually right here where the cursor is at the moment. So his associates have been caught. Imagine there's an and strangled, they have been strangled in jail, in carcere. Okay. Now we start with ab Antonio. We can't do anything with that until we figure out what's going on. Altero consule is also talking about Antonio. So let's go see the rest of the sentence before we do anything. Aha! Catalina is our nominative here. So Catalina ipse. Don't do that. Oh no. Undo drag. Okay. Catalina ipse is our nominative. So Catiline himself. And then we have an even weirder two-word verb, the perfect passive verbs. Notice your S there. There's your form of sum. There's a fourth principle part there. And then this word just kind of got in the way. So fourth principle part, and then you have your form of sum. Oh no. Back here we have another fourth principle part. So neither of these perfect passive verbs are going in the right order, where we go fourth principle part and then your form of sum. But this est is being recycled just like it was, the sunt was recycled in the last sentence. Okay, so Catiline himself has been defeated, victos est, has been defeated in battle, and imagine there's an and interfectus est, he has been killed. So you can wait to say the battle after. I don't care. Catiline himself has been conquered, has been defeated, and he has been killed in battle. Because they both happened in battle. Maybe that's the explanation for the placement of the proelio. Who knows? And then you have to go back and get this ab Antonio by Antony, and then altero consule, the other consul. And they felt the need to say this, Eutropius did, because he talked about Cicerone in the first part, and then in the second part, after he talked about how Cicero had expelled him from the city, they talked about the second one. And I guess Eutropius just wanted to note the change. Okay? So let's review this one last time and we will be done. During the consulship of Marcus Tullius Cicero and Gaius Antonius, in the 691st year since the founding of the city, Lucius Sergius Catilina, a man of most, I like to say birth for generis, but of the most noble family, but of the most corrupt is nice here, because we're talking about government stuff, of the most corrupt character. So again, we're talking about our nominative Lucius Sergius Catilina. So Catiline, he conjured, let's say he conjured a plot towards the destruction of the city with certain men. I'm going to put a comma here. I would have enjoyed a comma from the editor after the quibostam, but whatevs. So certain men indeed distinguished. So Catiline associated himself with distinguished men, but they were reckless as well. And all of these endings, I maybe didn't mention it before, Claris with the IS, Aldacibus with the ibus, Viris with the IS again. These are all ablative plural just to go with quibostam. Okay, that's why I would have liked the comma here. It's sort of just like how vir is talking about Catiline in this one, and the commas are used there, but not down here. So you know what? In mine, I'm going to put the comma. Boom. All right. And our nice little sentence, he has been expelled from the city by Cicero. His associates, I don't think I said it before, but eos is actually genitive singular for the pronoun he, so of him. Okay, so the associates of him, but we don't like that in English so much, so let's say his. His associates, the split sort of perfect passive with the recycled sunt, his associates have been caught and strangled in jail. Carcere, of course, it's where we get incarcerated and whatnot. All right, remember we're skipping the ab Antonio altero consule for just a second. Go to Catiline himself. Has been, another sort of split perfect passive verb, has been defeated defeated and killed in battle. Throughout, please make your own word choices. They don't have to be exactly like mine. And feel free to sort of move things around if you think it makes more sense another way. As long as you have the same idea as I have, I'm a happy straw. So that's it. I took a lot longer than I wanted to, but I tried. I tried to skipulai. I tried. Okay, so I think I'm most likely going to assign you 55A, activity 55A, to look at the pieces of this one more time before we move on. So check whatever I had, whatever my instructions were for you next. Straw out.